Greetings everyone, Agion here, another Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition replay. So on the bottom right side, as the blue Britions, we have the Thepejezombie. So on the north side, as the red Lithuanians, we have PouletMayo. Let's go ahead and make this a little bit fast forward because they're just an initial economic gathering phase. We've got the sheep, we got more sheep, we've got the sheep scouting, and that pretty much sums it up. We do have some goats as well. You got sheeps and goats. Take your pick. Looks like red looks like identified both with boars. He at least saw one of them. So getting one boar is no problem. Has blue saw these boar? This can be a bit problematic. Oh, he definitely sees the boar, yeah. So never mind. So both players have spotted their boar. Both players are doing a good job at least gathering one livestock at a time as well. And we do also have pretty good timing with the boar as well. We'll get a good hit on the boar now. Could finish off the sheep quickly, but decide just continuously harvesting the boar. More houses going down. There's actually quite a bit of open area here, so red may have a bit trouble of walling in this area. The other boar is being grabbed by red, and the other boar is being cleaned up the last moment. Blue is also gathering up its boar as well. One of the villagers is actually standing on top of the boar. That's not very hygienic. A mill is coming on down for blue, and we see the mill going down for red as well. We do also have a barracks here. Lithuanians do have a possibility of doing early scout harassment. Try to get that ostrich a little bit too early, but there is a mill nearby, so he can able to collect the herdables or the huntables with relative ease. We do have these three militia coming on in. No free to wage. This is just a militia rush. The scout here has spotted an opening. The scout needs to get in between this opening because there's potentially... Nope, he will get in there in time. And here comes the militias. Scout is doing a great job of body blocking. Very good. We do have a bunch of houses coming down, trying to protect the wood line as possible. Blue doesn't have any sort of defense. He does have a barracks here, but blue's also not going for feudal age, while red is. The militia are going to go on in. It's going to be hitting these villagers. These militias are going to be very, very annoying. And he's actually going to try to hit this mill. The villagers are going to try on in for some harassment. Militia's damage is not all too great, honestly. They have 40 health for damage. These militia... Blue does have a handful of militia. Blue scout does go down. Villagers coming out to support, so red is doing some good economic damage by just pulling these villagers off the line. And did manage to get the scout, of course. And these villagers are pulled off for quite some time, but he can't exactly put them back on. He needs to get the militia to support them as well if he's going to put them back on the line. Ooh, these two villagers got tied up. Blue's militia is going to push on forward. These two villagers got selected as well, and blue is now going up for feudal age. Red does have the age advantage. Take a quick look at villagers. Blue does have a villager count advantage because he teched up later. Ooh, one of blue's militia does go down. Red has a villager that militia went down. And it looks like both militia are down for blue. He will take out another militia there, and these three villagers should gang up on that red militia no problem, and does take it down. Though this villager is quite low in health, perhaps he should just try tasking in a farther location. And actually, there's a hole right here. And red has spotted the low health one, will kill it. Doesn't kill the scout as well. The scout, combat ineffective, he should just perhaps throw on the edge of the map and just use the auto scouting function for the rest of his life, because there's no way he can do any successful harassment, because one stab from a villager, just a quick shank, and he's down. Feudal age is almost finished for blue. And yeah, the game's gone quite a little bit longer. Let's go ahead and fast forward. Take a quick look at the villager count. Red does have the advantage, but blue had quite a bit of economic damage as well from having those villagers off the line for so long. You do have an archer range and blacksmith. He's Briton, so he's definitely going to go for bowman. Red should I going towards skirmishers and scouts and knights, because he's against Britons. He knows he's going to be fighting against longbowmen and elite and great crossbowmen and arbalists. Castle Age being researched by blue. He's going straight for Castle Age. Either gets out for a handful of knights, but we do see a couple archer ranges, so perhaps for Yepidu's going to be a crossbowman. Red is also castling up now. We do got quite a bit of walls being built by Red. Very understandable. There may be a hole right there, but we'll wall off everything else. And quite a bit of a wide wall, so Red will have plenty of surface area for walls. Red Scout is still down here, so potentially could go for another scout run. We do have a 6 bowman force here. Crossbowmen are on the way, so is fletching. Something's been queued up inside here. Probably a handful of regular bowmen. Gonna go ahead and put it down to normal speed, and the first villager is getting hit. And oh, it looks like they can't break through there. There is actually a tree here. It has been chopped down, so he almost accidentally exposed that area. He has rotated the lumberjacks to over this wood line here. He has plenty of opportunity for other wood lines over here because he's walled off so much. Overall, great walling off by Red. Red is going for a handful of knights, which is a good item versus all these crossbowmen, but more and more crossbowmen on the queue. Let's go ahead and fast forward a little bit more because currently there's not much going on. Hopefully we'll see a monastery for Red to get the relic bonuses, because that affects also knights as well as the Lightus. Lightus, I don't see him being too great in this matchup. Nothing heavy armor from the gauge. Knights here, they can actually hit the reinforcements, and we do have a pretty good flank coming out. Crossbowman are going to force himself into a corner, trying to prevent any sort of stack up, but most knights should be able to attack. We do got a handful of skirmishers here as well, but knights are getting hit. This is great positioning by blue, but he's back in the corner. He will not be able to retreat on out. As he starts killing more and more blue crossbowmen, he's losing more and more surface area to engage them, but it looks like all the crossbowmen goes down. Great flanking maneuver by Red, by Red. Handful of knights are going to push on forward. He will find some crossbowmen here, as well as a spearmen for defense. But you should just lock the palisade gate, I would say. These knights are not going to accomplish all too much. It's going to need to hit these flanks, hit these light defenses. There's also 2 palisade gates for some odd reason. Oh, but there may be a hole over here. I don't think there's a hole just yet. Oh. I think... No, there's no hole there just yet. But it's close. That's for sure. Red will find a palisade here, but will quickly build a house to fill in the gap. Let's take a quick look at villager count advantage. 1 villager advantage for Red. He will find all these palisades. Has that scout been cleaned up? Yes, I don't see the Red Scout anymore. And Red is going for a monk now, so he's going to get his relics, which is a critical upgrade. And 2 of the relics are inside his gates, and the other 2 are pretty far away from Blue's base as well. So Red could potentially get all 5 relics based on their positioning, and that would be golden. Palisade gate will in fact go down, but there's too many crossbowmen. He needs to fall back. He can't engage all of them. He needs to... Yes, he is going for armor upgrades for the knights. I think the armor upgrades are maybe a bit better against crossbowmen than the extra damage upgrade. Do you have husbandry Husband, I can't pronounce that word for some odd reason today. A horse upgrade. Being researched. Do also have the pikeman upgrade for blue. Very understandable because against Lithuanians are known for cavalry. Ideally, red should perhaps eye for some onagers at this point, or mangonels. And red has grabbed that relic, and there's this hole has not been breached, but mostly but the knights are going into, they're backing themselves in the corner. He does break a hole there, that's good. And we do have a siege workshop. That was a little bit too late. He won't be able to get out a mangonel anytime soon. 2 relics are being grabbed, which is great for red. He does have a good number of knights here. He needs to make sure these monks do get back, because that damage upgrade benefit will be great. But there's going to be a lot of crossbowmen here. Does pick off the monk there, so only we'll get the +1 damage upgrade. Wheelbarrow being researched. And no mangonel on the build queue either. He does have a handful of skirmisher here, but that won't accomplish all too much. Red needs a bigger defensive force. He has a good number of knights, but there's a lot of crossbowmen here, and these pikemen aren't sufficient numbers to be a threat to the knights. Villager goes down. Every shot, every volley will take out a villager. He does garrison this town center. And he's denying a lot of these farms. More knights on the build queue, as well as a mangonel. I wonder where that monk is going. Monk is going out for the far relic. Could try eyeing for the closer ones for the immediate damage upgrade. I can understand not going for this one, but this one may be a bit better. We do have a forward siege workshop. Ideally, I would say a ram or 2 would be good right now to help push through those buildings. And then get a couple... mangonels are not super great. A bit iffy, and he misrallied that knight, and eliminating these individual knights are very important. And we do have ramp here. I have to push through these buildings, and taking out these stables are quite important. But he doesn't have any surface area for the ram, which is a bit problematic. We do have a mangonel here. The crossbowmen are nice and spread out. Range of 7. Crossbowmen have a range of 8. Gets a 1 volley off. Gets a good hit there. Some good wounding actions as well. Good hit there. Good wounding. Mangonel versus mangonel. The red mangonel does go down. That is a critical death for red. Castle going up. If he can finish... Yes, he's throwing a lot of villagers here. This castle will be a hard counter to this entire advancement. He doesn't have murder holes. He's trying to quickly build it up. Knights may need to go in now. Yeah, the knights need to go on in. We do have pikemen here. That's not a good engagement, but he has to go and he has to buy time for the castle. Knights are now pushing on the way through, killing off all the pikemen, and the castle is up. He has garrisoned it up. There's a lot of arrows here. He needs to ensure the death of that ram as well. The ram is getting tied up, and he has taken out both stables. It's actually very problematic. He has very little production. Red needs more production. The archery range will buy some time for the castle. He may just need to use some Lightus at this point, because he has no stables, I believe. And that's a bad rally for the mangonel. Almost goes down to the ram. He should not have let that happen. Multiple villagers queued on up. He needs stables. He's starting to repair out the mangonel now. Perhaps even some skirmishers would be a good idea. He needs just more defensive force. We do have the Imperial Age being researched by Blue now. Blue is also not going for many more villagers. And Red will have quite a bit of villager advantage. Red is pulling back. He needs a castle. He's building a forward castle. He's going to build some trebuchets to siege his opponent's castle. But Red just has no production. He's overqueued knights on 1 stable. Red is going to be eyeing to take out this siege workshop now. He also looks like appears to force fire the far side of the siege workshop, ensuring he doesn't splash his own knights by accident. This monk has finally got over there. I think he just forgot about it, just rallied over and never actually picked up the relic, which is a bit problematic. This relic is going to be picked up now. He's going to pick up multiple relics, will give him pretty good damage bonus for the knights. Starting to clean up some of these structures, but there's a huge number of crossbows here. Push forward. One shooting these knights. 2 more knights go down. He needs more than 1 Mangonel, and they don't have the range right now. These crossbowmen has some good room to take out those Mangonels. He's building a forward stable. It's not a good position. He should have built it back here. He has picked up this relic as well. He needs to make sure he rallies it properly. And this doesn't look good for Red. He needs more Mangonels. He just needs more production. Misses with that shot. And there goes the Mangonel. He actually garrisoned the knights inside the castle, which will help him with the passive healing, and perhaps keep them protected for the time being, so they don't actually run out towards a crossbowman. Pure Rage being researched by Red. Multiple relics have been deposited in. His knights are going to do some great damage now. Village count is favored Red by a good 15. Do have now Arbalists out on the field. 10 range. They can outrange the castle. Think about that. He can siege the castle. Though maybe not. The arrows come from the edge of the castle, but I think the arrows must... the castle comes from the edge, but the arrows, the crossbow must... An arbalist must hit the center. So actually, with the radius of the castle, may actually be in range of each other. But now we do have the trebuchet engaging the castle. He's going to need to repair it. He has a huge wave of knights on the build queue, but I think it's a pop cap. And so to eliminate these houses is actually critical, stopping him from producing anything. Another trebuchet on the build queue. I hear the pikemen also here, so he has a good number of pikemen ready for defense as well. Ooh, some of these villagers getting hit at the gold line, and hitting the gold line is very important. All those villagers are dead, but he does have 3 relics, and I think at least 1 more is on the way. He still can get this one, but he's so busy microing, I don't think he has time to actually pick it up to task it. 4 relics have been grabbed by Red. But the trebuchets and arbalists are going to be still problematic. And that castle also provided quite a bit of population, so he's having trouble producing. We now have the Cavalier upgrade, which will give him quite a bit of power. That you're going to do 18 damage per hit, minus armor, plus modus damage. And they will find a good opportunity against these crossbowmen. The pikemen are now rallying over, but they're on a move order, and now the Cavalier is going to collapse upon. He has stacked up the crossbowmen quite well. The town center very close to going down. 1 more shot will take it out, and I think that will take it out. And the Cavaliers will kill off all these units, but he will lose the town center. He doesn't need... he needs more village production, never mind. I wonder if murder holes have been researched, so there may be opportunity for this castle to go down if murder holes had not been researched. But there's quite a bit of units here reinforcing crossbowmen, pikemen. He's getting stuck up on all the houses, and he's may need to fall back. He won't be able to deal with all the choke points. Lion gets into the mix, and he's actually going to go for a counterattack. There's actually opportunity to have a castle here being built. He doesn't... There is opening there for all the knights. He's going to go straight into the villagers. This will buy Red all the time he needs to get his situation back home reorganized. And these Cavaliers are even risk to the town centers themselves. Arbalest will find some good angles in order to gauge across houses and other forms of cover, but these houses are actually quite close to each other, so the one town center may go down, but more and more of these villagers going down. Actually, the villager count are now even. This has been a great raid by Red. He needed this counterattack. He's now going to try to bust out through this palisade. Actually, there is an opening there as well. Oh, there's a lot of exposed villagers here, which could wreak some more havoc. Lion engaging the villager up here. And all 5 relics are in the hands of the Lithuanians. So that's, what, 19 damaged knights? Well, 20 damaged knights. Jeez. And it looks like these cavaliers will go ahead and escape on out. The halberdiers have been researched. There's just too many halberdiers in this area, but that gave him all the time he needed just to even out this game. More and more cavaliers are being built. And murder poles have not been researched. There actually may be enough cavaliers to actually take out the castle. It's going straight for the villagers. Go and go for the town center. And this town center may go down. There is actually a wave of halberdiers. He's going to need to pre-target them. Immediately gets out to find the opportunity to jump his villagers into the castle, which is a better defensive spot. He actually forced them out with the cavaliers. And there goes the town center. And I don't think he has murder holes. Blue does have quite a bit of infrastructure here, so Blue is not out of the game yet, though he has seen quite a bit of losses. He's down by 26 villagers, but there's not a whole lot of defense here. Large number of cavaliers, but that's about it. And those are some beefy cavaliers. But this castle's trying to go up, but it's going to be too late. Cavaliers going to try to rush on in, buy some time. They may buy enough time, but there's still a trebuchet here. The castle's not impervious, even if it does go up. He may just need to cancel it. Halberdiers being very problematic over here. We do got the Cavaliers trying to respond to this, but there's just a large number of Halberdiers and Arbalists here. This castle needs to be canceled. He does cancel it. Cavaliers trying to go for a flank. Halberdiers being very problematic. He needs to get out some Scorpions or Mangonels or Onagers or something like that. Onagers are on the build queue. Ugh. And this does not look good for Red. He bought time, but didn't rebuild his defenses. It's going to bite him in the butt. Light cavalry are now available. A handful of rams will be a good idea to help clear up these buildings. Trebuchet is super wounded, can't really use for counter barrage at this point. And the monastery goes down. There goes all of his relics. No more damage bonuses. Knocking his damage down to just 16. Halberdiers are rushing forward with the lack of damage bonus. These Cavaliers are going to have extreme trouble, and the Halberdiers are just ripping apart those Cavaliers, and the Arbalists are just there to support. This is maybe game for Red. I don't see how he has time to rebuild. He does have superior amount of villagers, so he can trade some villagers for some time. But a lot of them are not actually gathering, so his economy is not looking good. And these Arbalists, there's just no counter to them. And that is the end of the game. This is Agion saying thank you for watching and signing off.